Hi, this is the First Lady of Sports Talk. This week on Bras, Panties, and Sports, we're going to talk about the epic collapse of the New York Knicks in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Enjoy the show.
Hit it. Welcome on this pre-Memorial Day weekend. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. And, just to, we down to the wire, the Final Four in the NBA. So, it's getting ready to get on with the getting on. I'm Spitface. Please welcome our host of First Lady of Sports Talk and avid New York Knickerbocker fan, Cheryl Smith. Good morning.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm gonna try to be perky this morning because I'm not feeling too well with especially what happened to my Knicks. But we'll talk about that later. But anyway, good morning.
Well, hey, look, we got some games to go. This week on Shout Out, we have performances from Byron LOVE Luv. He's just a lovey kind of guy, First Lady. When he find his shining star, get the cold feel of the mute button. First Lady, we're ready. What you say?
Each week, we try to figure out what is going on in the world of sports. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdie known as Jim Irsay has flown away from the Colts to that stadium in the sky. The NFL world was shocked by the sudden passing of the Colts owner whose father bought the team and moved it from Baltimore to Indianapolis. Jim became the youngest NFL owner at 37. Well, Irsay's biggest achievement bringing Tony Dungy and Peyton Manning together to win a Super Bowl while creating NFL history. Will Irsay's achievements be marred by his personal struggle with alcohol abuse? His daughter seems solidly aligned to take command of the franchise. Will her presence make a difference in the old boys club of the NFL owners? George Foreman, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, both rest in peace. Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Yeah, it was very sad news to hear that Jim Irsay passed away. He was only 65 years old. Unfortunately, I believe he was diagnosed with a blood disease type of cancer, so he was very ill. He had a lot of health issues. And he was a very complex individual who fought his demons with drug and alcohol abuse. I mean, he was predominantly alcoholic, but, he also was addicted to prescription drugs, supposedly. Like you said, his father passed, and when his father passed in 1997, Irsay became the owner of the team, and it wasn't that easy because he had to do a big legal battle with his father's with his stepmother over the ownership of the team, and he finally prevailed. And so that's why he owned the team. Now, while his father was alive, he actually became the youngest general manager. He was the vice president, and general manager in 1984. And he was only 24 years old, and he was the youngest person to hold that title as general manager also. So, he's been around the game, so he was very knowledgeable. even at a young age. And in 1998, that's when they made a big splash by drafting Peyton Manning. And, they then signed Tony Dungy after he was let go by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They signed him in 2002. And 5 years later, Peyton Manning and Tony Dungy won their only championship. And that was the only championship that Irsay had under his ownership. Even though he only won one championship, they had 10 division championships. They also made 2 AFC championship appearances besides the winning the Super Bowl. I don't think his accomplishments will be marred in his personal struggle with alcohol abuse. Even though he was suspended by the league in 2014 after pleading guilty for driving while intoxicated. I mean, the Indianapolis Colts are such a great, they're one of the pillars organizations within the NFL. And, even though he's had some issues, most of these demons came out later on in his leadership. So I really don't think what he's accomplished, will have that long-term impact. I mean, obviously, they've been talking about his death. You really haven't heard too much about what he was doing wrong when he was alcoholic and, when all those issues came up. But, you always got to look at the good in people versus the bad in people. And, for him, there was more good than there was bad. Now, while he was, at least when he was suspended by the league, his daughter took over. And, she took over in 2014. So that actually has, to me, helped her to take over the team full time. He is very young. Her daughter, I believe she's 44 years old. So the fact that she's a young female, it is going to make a big difference in that old boys club. And the reason why it's going to make a big difference because there's actually 10 female owners. I'm not sure if people knew that. There's 10 female owners, and the youngest female owner of the 10 is 73 years old. Majority of them are they're older. I mean, if you think about the owner team, you got to, especially in the NFL. The NFL, to me, has some of the oldest owners. I don't mean to be rude, but most of these owners are very, very old. So they don't want to give up their ownership to their younger children. So they hold on for a while. But most of the female owners, actually, because their husbands had owned the teams, or I think one of them, the brother, had owned the team, and she's taken over. So the fact that his daughter is coming in makes a big difference. I think it's going to make a difference, with these old boys club, because we know that, these men, they when it comes to women, they have that old mentality. So having a young woman there will definitely make a difference. But, rest in peace, Jim Irsay. All right, Face, what do you want to talk about, Mr. Irsay?
Well, First Lady, I am not a Colts fan, but I do root Jim Irsay and the Colts for bringing on Tony Dungy after he got unceremoniously let go by Tampa Bay, and he missed out on the Super Bowl win that should have been his. So I'm like, Jim, I'm not a Colts fan, and I hated Peyton Manning. But I gotta hand it to you. Y'all gotta win, and you had the vision to grab Tony Dungy and say, hey, you don't like him, we gonna stand behind him. And you got one because of it. And so I go, Jim, thank you for having that kind of vision. And basically, what's kind of interesting is that, First Lady, I did not know that there were 10 ladies who were NFL owners. And when I'm thinking of NFL owners that are female, I'm remembering the St. Louis Rams owner, and she became owner. Husband died, and then of course Mama Bear in Chicago, who's passed away, and Jim Irsay has 3 daughters, and they're going to share the ownership of the team. And there's Carly Irsay Gordon, Casey Foyt, and Kaylin Jackson. And I think it's Kaylin Jackson, who's the one who's going to basically take over. But I'm sure that will get straightened out sooner or later. But break it up. Let the women in. Let the people of color in. We got to break up this this trillionaire class. Throughout the, I'm like, come on, power to the people. And, also, when over half your viewers are women, they got to get represented. And it's not like a fault of the NFL, because the NFL was founded by old white men. That's just how it went. So it wasn't founded by young, spry women. It was founded by old white men. And since it was founded over 100-something years ago, there have been some changes, and a lot of them good. A lot of them good. So my condolences go out to the Irsay family and Coach Nation. I can give it to y'all, Coach. I didn't like Andrew Luck either. I hated both of them. but only from a sports standpoint, not personally. They were beating up on teams that I liked. So I'm like, I ain't rooting for y'all. But firstly, that's all I'm saying about Mr. Irsay and the Colts.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I didn't realize they were going to share the ownership for Junior Say. I thought the daughter, the one who took over in 2014, what's her name? Is it Carly? It's Irsay Gordon, I believe.
Yeah.
Is the one. Yeah, is the one. Carly. There's Casey and Carly. I think Carly is the one who really is going to be the head. Because you only really can have one. I mean, no, you can have more than one owner, but when it's listed, they said you got to put, I believe you got to put one, from my understanding. But yeah, there's, I don't have a list. There's Haslam. There's several of these. There's 10 owners that are female. So, but Mama Haslam, I believe she's deceased now, right? Or is she still living? I think she's deceased. I'm not sure. But, yeah, I think she may be. I think she just recently died for some reason. But anyway, yeah. So I think it's going to be, the Colts are in good hands. I mean, let's face it, they're in good hands. Like you said, there's people are real. It is almost 50% that women are viewers of the NFL. So when you think about that, that's crazy, really, because you think it's a man's sport, but no, a lot of females like the NFL. So it's going to be good to have more women ownership. All right, Spitface, over to you.
Yeah, Percy, and I just want to make sure that everybody knows that the women fans are not all rooting for the Cowboys. So Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my fears and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom, explosion, overpowering over the competition. I'm towering the record shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest of the all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm going to knock you out. Huh. Mama said knock you out. Huh. We are talking about the knockout punch in game one of the Knicks Pacers with the Knicks coming up with a black eye. They came up with a black eye. The Knicks as the home favorite. And First Lady, I was watching this game. And I'm looking at the scope, and I'm like, oh, okay, they got these boys. So, I went ahead and turned the channel over to PBS and started watching Sesame Street. I figured the Knicks had them done. And I look up here at the end of the evening, at what, 138 to 135? I'm like, I know Thibodeau is going crazy. I know he's going, wait. I'm a defensive guy. How y'all let them come on back like that and, beat us at the end? Now, there was some shots, I seen on the replays. I'm like, boy, sometimes luck does play a factor. But the producer said, throw away the script. Because really, they were leaning toward that the Knicks was pretty much got a big shot at winning it all. And they were like, are the Knicks built to be back-to-back champions if that occurs? But now we like, okay, wait, we got to get back to reality. Will the Knicks even make it? So, First Lady, I'm like, I'm looking at the situation, and I'm looking at the Knicks fan, and I'm looking at the Knicks, and I go, good. They got spanked, but they didn't really get spanked. But they kind of got a slap in the face. Bah! Like I said, they got a black eye. And that might be what they need. As they say, the Pacers may have drew first blood, but like a Sylvester Stallone movie, the Knicks can come back. First Lady, what you say?
Well, you would thought the Knicks knew what it means to close out a game because they did it to the Boston Celtics in 2 games. They didn't close. The Boston Celtics had those big leads, and they didn't close out the game. And so you would have thought the Knicks would know what to do, and they didn't know what to do because what happened is you cannot close your eyes on the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers has done what they did against the Knicks in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final to the Milwaukee Bucks. They won the game last second to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They stole a game in Game 2. They stole that game. So I don't understand. Or if I did Game 1 or Game 2, I can't remember which game they stole. But they did the exact same thing in their 2 previous series. So my question for the Knicks, why do you continue not to have the killer instincts? You had a 14-point lead with 2.5 minutes left in the game. How could you give up that lead? Well, I'll tell you how they gave up the lead. Because, number one, they got the lead when Brunson was on the bench. They boosted that lead over to 14, 16 points. And what happened was the ball was moving. When Brunson came back in the game, and I was a Knicks fan, I go back and forth with a lot of different Knicks fans. We were on a chat together. And when Brunson came back in the game, they started playing that ISO ball with Brunson. They don't need to play that. And another thing, I didn't understand why Tibbs brought Brunson back in the game because Brunson had 5 fouls. So he was a defensive liability. He's already a defensive liability when he doesn't have fouls. Can you imagine with 5 fouls what type of defense he could play? He can't play any defense in that that's what they did. They attacked him in those few minutes because I think initially he was guarding Neesmith. Neesmith got a couple of threes off of them. Then they switched to OG, and OG was horrible guarding Neesmith. That man hit 6 threes in that fourth quarter, which actually got them to the point for Halliburton to tie the game. And that was the whole situation. They did not play great defense down the stretch. They took rush shots. I mean, that's the one thing about the Pacers. They call them Pacers for nothing, for something, because they play with pace. They love to speed the game up. The Knicks do not need to play that type of way, especially with 2 minutes. You should have been milking the clock, and then you set your offense to score. But they took a lot of rush shots down the stretch, which gave the Pacers the opportunity to even get back. And, of course, I don't even want to talk about the free throws because they've missed so many free throws. OG missed one free throw. Karl Anthony Towns could have put the game to 4 points. He missed his free throw. So, there's and the offensive rebounding, I mean, the Knicks blew them out in the beginning of the first half, but in the second half, the Pacers took over with the offensive rebounding. And it's just a lack of focus. So anyway, it's reminiscent of the 1995 game when Reggie Miller, remember, he scored 8 points in 9 seconds, and then he did the choke sign. Well, guess what? Halliburton did that last night when he hit that three-pointer. At the time, they thought they won the game because he was behind the three-point line, and that ball hit on the rim and went straight up in the air and came down. He thought they won the game, but he didn't win the game because his foot was on the line. But then he didn't know that at the time, and he did that choke sign. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Let's hope it is a repeat of 1995 when Reggie Miller did that choke sign, because guess what? In 1995, when Reggie Miller scored 8 points in 9 seconds, the Knicks lost that game 1, but guess what? They beat the Pacers in 5. It was a gentleman's sweep. And guess what? I'm hoping that happens again, because the New York Knicks need to take that picture of him doing that choke sign and put it in their locker room for a bulletin board, messages, or, whatever you want to call it, bulletin board, or whatever you want to call it. That should be the focus. That he called you guys chokers, which you guys did choke, but you did choke. I ain't going to lie about that. He was right about it. You choked. In today's NBA, I think we also talked about whether or not there's going to be a repeat of champions because the way the game is now. Because there's not going to be back-to-back champions. Because in today's game, you got the first apron, you got the second apron, and those owners got to pay too much money. For example, that's why they're talking about breaking up the Boston Celtics, because Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they are supermax players. This season, the owners of the Boston Celtics have to pay because they're a second-time defender of the apron. They got to pay possibly almost $500 million in additional fees. So it's not going to happen when you're going to have back-to-back NBA champions. Unless, and let me just say this, unless the Thunder win, because the OKC Thunder still have a lot of players on rookie contracts. SGA is at a super max, but he's not due. I don't know if he's due for an extension, but it won't go into effect next season. So the OKC has a chance. I think this year is the only year that if you're going to have back-to-back champions, it can happen. And it can happen either with OKC, and it can happen with the Knicks also, because the Knicks core players are all signed for 2 years. So for additional I think up until, two more years. So it can happen with the Knicks too. But you know what? the Knicks and y'all need to stop choking and you need to finish that game.
All right, First Lady, you said quit choking. All right, that's from a Knicks fan, so we know the commentary might have been a little slighted. But First Lady, I will say this. Within the next 10 years, there'll be one back-to-back. And that one back-to-back may either be the Knicks or the Thunder, but there will be one back-to-back. Okay, First Lady, you have the last word. Please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Up next, we have a performance from Byron LOVE on Shout Out Part 1.
He's just a lovely guy. The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Byron LOVE Luv.
On Shout Out, we featured new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give a track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. On the first part of Shout Out, we are featuring music from Byron LOVE Luv out of Dallas from his hit album, Just Put the Tip In. They say, quote, Byron LOVE Luv is a South Dallas Texan rap legend known to the masses as DTR, Down to Rock. He helped induct this thing called rap hip-hop into not only the city, but the history. All right, DJ, let's hear Positive Vibes.
Everything is straight, everything is great, it's going my way. Put it in the air, cups up, what it's time to celebrate. Everything is straight, everything is great, it's going my way. Positive vibes, all that hate got away, look, it's time to celebrate. Everything is straight, everything is great, it's going my way. Put it in the air, cups up, what it's time to celebrate. Everything is straight, everything is great, it's going my way. Positive vibes, all that hate got away, look, it's time to celebrate. I beat the high score, now I'm up one, having a great day. Yeah, everything, can't complain, it's alright, it's okay. Took all my worries and my troubles and I pushed them far away as they can be. I know they still over there, but I don't care, but now the focus on me. And that's the problem with us, y'all, we be looking so hard we can't see. The answer right in front of you and the solution that be right in front of me. And I fight hard, I get scarred in this war that the haters trying to wage. It takes a lot for me to try to be the bigger man and turn the other page. Some in this thing, they just playing, they ain't really the ones that's truly in it. The struggle real, and we the ones out here that's really dealing with it. Collateral damage, trying to manage this here stuff off in our own time. Destroying the planet, no wishes granted, can it be better meetings of the mind? Everything is straight, everything is great, it's going my way. Put it in the air, cups up, what it's time to celebrate. Everything is straight, everything is great, it's going my way. Positive vibes, all that hate got away, look, it's time to celebrate. Everything is straight, everything is great, it's going my way. Put it in the air, cups up, what it's time to celebrate. Everything is straight, everything is great, it's going my way. Positive vibes, all that hate got away. Look, it's time to celebrate. And tell the reason why we chase the high just to try and elevate. And then it all falls down cause the gravity is pulling on the weight. Enjoy while it lasts, but with crash we just out here trying to smile. Cut the check and reparate, they say payday is coming after a while. Keep doing what you will have made my people say it's time to bless me. I'm just focused on the good as I should, trying to keep it stress free. Riding around clean, I ain't worried about no haters or opponents. This sprinkling time's all mine, I'm just right now living off in the moment. Ladies looking great while the fellas posted up trying to get it. I'm just coming through, chunk of the deuce. What's up with it? Deposit is direct for my check and the balance okay. So what do you expect right now? Just a really good day. Everything is straight, everything is great, it's going my way. Put it in the air, cups up, what it's time to celebrate. Everything is straight, everything is great, it's going my way. Positive vibes, all that hate got away, look, it's time to celebrate. Everything is straight, everything is great, it's going my way. Put it in the air, cups up, what it's time to celebrate. Everything is straight, everything is great, it's going my way. Positive vibes, all that hate got away, look, it's time to celebrate.
Okay, that is Byron LOVE Luv out of Dallas. Big Face, I'm going to shout the song out. You know, he mixes rapping and singing in it. I'm going to shout it out. I mean, I don't know if he's the best rapper, but I still like the song, so I'm definitely going to shout it out.
Well, First Lady, I'm shouting it out. I am not a good judge of rapping, but I thought he had a really smooth track. It was kind of groovy there, so I found a lot to like in it. So so what is he, DTR? Well, brother DTR?
Down to rock. Down to rock. You know, it had the music, the addition of the singing with the rapping, I thought made it smooth too. So, yeah, but, so you're going to shout it out? All right. Well, on part 2 of Shout Out, we'll be featuring another performance by Mr. Byron LOVE Luv. Is that the sound of our favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It?
All right, it's bad, where our host defend the point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. The verdict is in, and the NFL has decided the tush push shall remain. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Was this a good decision by the old boys club known as NFL owners? Defend. The tush ain't no joke. It's good they allowed it to stay. First lady, well, the tush push obviously ain't a joke for the Philadelphia Eagles because they pushed that tush all the way to a Super Bowl win. Now, I'm not a particularly great fan of the play, but I'm like, come on, defenses, go ahead and stop them. The tush push ain't nothing but a quarterback sneak, and I have seen quarterback sneaks where the quarterback gets stopped. As a matter of fact, I've seen a lot of quarterback sneaks where the quarterback gets stopped. So I'm like, look, if this is a mano-mano thing or if this is an angle thing, but I think the main reason Philadelphia is just so effective with it, I don't think it's really mano like overpowering. More so than mano, they got Saquon Barkley. And what I thought about was how I could imagine if the Bears had a really good quarterback and with Walter Payton, they would have been pushy all over the place. That was because they're a running type team. So they would have been, because Payton would have said, I'm going to get your butt over the line. So, that kind of actually put Saquon in that rare air of Walter Payton. So just want to expand on that. But the tush push, the owners were correct in allowing it to stay. It just like the Wildcat. The Wildcat came out and, whoa, what we going to do? The teams was getting, and now you don't even see that play anymore because the defenses adjusted to it. So give the defenses some time. It may be a boring play, but give them some time. They'll catch up with it. First lady, please defend.
Well, yeah, the tush push, it's an innovative play. The success rate is at 87%. So we know the Eagles are the number one team when they ran the tush push. Because 80 in total, the push in the Buffalo Bills, they basically ran the tush push the most out of the three teams. So it's the number one play. There's no conclusive data supporting any connection between the push and injury, the risk of injury. They keep saying that there's injuries, but there is no injuries. There's no data to support this injuries with the tush push. So it's no joke. It's a great offensive tool, but for some reason they don't want it in the NFL. But unfortunately, the owners just didn't have enough votes to ban the tush push. It was 10 teams that wanted the tush push. And it was the Eagles, Ravens, Browns, Lions, Jaguars, Dolphins, Patriots, Saints, Jets, and Titans. And the weird thing about it, most of those don't use the tush push. So that's why I was kind of surprised, because the number two team, it was the Bills, and the Bills didn't vote to ban it. So that was kind of crazy to me. But, the tush push it's an innovative thing that the Eagles developed. They're the best at it, and it is, for some reason, hard to stop. It's hard to stop, but I still think it's a play. I don't know if I'm a fan. I think it's interesting because, like I said, it seems like people can't stop it. And I know you brought up the Wildcat and everything, but with the tush push, hey, 87% rate tells you that it's very difficult for them to stop that tush push. And like you said, the Eagles took it all the way to the Super Bowl. And, their owner, Laurie, he spoke at the meeting. I don't know if you heard what he said. Did you hear what he said about the tush push? He said it was like a man having did you hear him? He said it was like having a wet dream. I was like, well, oh, you didn't hear that? Oh, yeah, that's what he gave an hour speech and said it was like having a wet dream. I said, well, damn, excuse me. I don't know what type of dreams he been having, but he really liked that tush push, so.
Okay.
That's an old boys club coming through. That's what that's all about, so. But anyway, the tush push is. Okay.
No, I was saying that might be worse than old boys club. Oh, God.
Anyway, so the tush push is definitely here to stay. So, hey, it's a football play that they got to break. And, that's the way it is. So,
that's the way it goes. All right, well, we're going to flip it. The tush push is a boring play that seems more like a smash-up football. When I'm looking at the tush push, I'm actually looking at the play, and to me it is a quarterback sneak. But I'm not sure that, they don't allow you to pull the ball carrier forward. They don't allow you to do that. And to me, the tush push is like allowing them to pull the quarterback forward. Now, I can get that in any type of running play, there's going to be some pushing. Just because you're blocking, so you're going to be pushing people back. But you're pushing people back, not the player, the ball carrier themselves. You're not. They're not a prop to move the ball, and they're moving. There may be some push, and we've seen it where on a running play, you got that big old offensive line guy, and he's helping push the guy forward to get the first down. But that's in the flow of the play. That's in the flow of the play. The tush push is the play. So I just go at from a fan's perspective. It looks more like a smash up than an actual play. And there are things that the NFL does to, let's say, improve the scoring. So what they'll do is they'll change it where defenses can't do something. And so that gives a little more advantage to the offense because they want the scoring to go up. Well, over time, those defenses get smart and they're able to react to that change. And then the NFL will change the rule again. And I think this is kind of the reverse. You want the scoring, but it's how you're getting it. And again, the tush push is a boring play, and it really does kind of look like the flipping around, pulling the player forward, which is illegal. So, First Lady, please defend.
It's ironic, about this tush push because, prior to 2004, the phrasing in the NFL rulebook was that players are prohibited from pushing or pulling in a way that aids the ball carrier. That was an actual rule in the NFL, which is basically what the push-tush is. Mm-hmm. But the officiating, it was very difficult. Now, this is what they said. It was very difficult for them to officiate downfield about them pushing to aid the ball carrier which to me didn't make absolutely no sense. They said it was becoming difficult to officiate downfield, and this is why it was removed from the rule book, which opened the door for the tush push. Now, the tush push to me, it's not football, and we're not playing no damn rugby. We're playing football. If you want to play rugby, you go over to Europe and you go watch rugby. We're playing NFL football. I can understand a quarterback sneak. Yes, it is an elaborate pushing of the quarterback, but without aiding and pushing. And I just don't understand why they did not ban this. First of all, I don't even understand why they removed the rule from the rule book, because they couldn't officiate downfield. But wait a minute, so are you trying to tell that your referees were not in position downfield to look to see if it was pushing? I don't understand that. Pushing and pulling, it didn't make sense. I mean, that's the problem, because they closed that rule, and that's why that the Eagles became obviously smart about it. They said, okay, we're going to do this push. I mean, Jason Kelsey actually said, they were saying that he got hurt, but he said on his podcast, he said if he could come back and just do the push-tush, he would do it. But no, we don't need that, Jason Kelsey. This play to me is illegal. I don't like it. It should be banned because of the fact that we are playing NFL football and not rugby. And that, to me, is the deciding factor, because rugby is a game that looks like our football, but it's not like our football, because that's exactly what rugby does. They push the players along the way. We're playing football. We like to see down in that red zone, we like to see either you do a quarterback sneak without aiding and abetting and pushing, or you do a run with the running back, or you pass the ball. That's pure football. So I'm just going to stand by it. We're not playing rugby at all.
All right, First Lady, we are not playing rugby. By the way, Jim Brown was a champion rugby player at college. But First Lady, over to you. Jim Brown can handle it either way. First Lady, over to you for more flipping.
The San Francisco 49ers avoided controversy by signing their franchise quarterback Brock Purdy for $256 million with $181 million guaranteed, putting Brock in the top 10 list for quarterback salaries. Considering three of the other quarterbacks have never sniffed the results he produced, was Brock underpaid? Spitface defend. $256 million is a lot of loot, but he was underpaid.
First Lady, you take me to within a hair's breadth of winning a Super Bowl, being in the big games, and you making pennies on the dollar. Then you finally get to make some nice money, and it's no joke. $256 million is a lot. Like if any parts of million come my way, I'm a happy camper. So, but I think he was underpaid. He's got. Some of the players who are quick QBs making more money than him, I'm not going to say they suck, but Trevor Lawrence, really, Trevor Lawrence, really, Trevor Lawrence should make less than Trevor Lawrence, So, and there are a couple of quarterbacks on that list who, at the time, I'll say that it was a good deal paying them the money, but I don't think for a few of them that it's actually panning out. But Brock, Mr. Irrelevant, did the thing, and he should have been, he should have been in the top 5. So, First Lady, I am glad he got that guaranteed money, but he's underpaid. He's underpaid. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
Okay, yeah, he's underpaid. Yeah, Brock Purdy is underpaid. When Dak Prescott is making $60 million, Tua Tagovailoa is making $53.1 million. Now, I understand why Jalen Hurts would make 51, but yeah, it's no question to me that Brock Purdy should have been in the top 5 of quarterbacks paid, because he's done a lot more than some of these. I think he's done a lot more than Dak Prescott has done. I mean, where, Brock Purdy has gotten gotten his team. Joe Burrow, at least Joe Burrow did get to a Super Bowl. Geno Smith was making at least more than Brock Purdy. Now, I think what Brock Purdy's base salary is, what's his base salary? $256. Yeah, so, I mean, the 49ers got over a little bit because they didn't have to pay him that much. I mean, he was happy with what he received, but there was a lot of teams that are paying their quarterback a lot more, and Purdy should have gotten in within the top 5. So, I mean, kudos to the 49ers for getting him to where he is with his salary. But, I can guarantee you he's not going to be happy later on. So, I mean, it is a 5. All right, let's flip it. At $256 million on a 4-year deal is a steal for Brock. That's called easy money. Spitface defend. Brock was not underpaid.
First Lady, I'm looking at it, and I look at the money. And it's like, oh man, he's at the bottom of the top 10. But I'm looking at the terms of the deal, and the terms of the deal are 4 years. In 4 years, he gets to renegotiate and get even bigger money. So I'm like, this is not a aging quarterback. This is a young guy who has not hit the peak of his career. And what is going to happen in a very short term, if he stays as successful and competitive as he's been in the past, and he stays healthy, in 2-3 years, they're going to be talking about, well, we got to put him on another contract, and that's when he's going to make even bigger money. So I'm going, this is a steal for Brock because he got a short-term contract where he's going to get I would say he's proven himself, but to solidify that, hey, I am an NFL star in this league. I might have Iowa looks. I might have Iowa looks, but so I'm not Tom Brady, but I can play some ball, and he will be making the money, and the 49ers will be paying him more money coming up in what, maybe even 2 years. Don't let him, don't mess around. And Brock get them a Super Bowl on a 4-year contract. Oh, the Brock is making easy money right now. It was a steal for Brock. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
All right, he's making easy money. It was a steal, yes. Well, when you are Mr. Irrelevant, Mr. Irrelevant, you were drafted in round 7. The 262nd pick, the last pick of the draft. Why would you think you're going to get paid in the top 5? I mean, really? I mean, like you said, it was easy money for Brock. Brock is very happy with his contract, and he's within the top 10 of quarterbacks. He wanted to make it so, the 49ers had a lot of players that they had to sign. They signed George Kittle to a 4-year contract extension. They had some other people that they had to sign to shore up their team. So Brock Purdy made it easy for the 49ers. He didn't ask for a whole bunch of money that would put them in difficult situation. I mean, the whole issue, they want to win. Like Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott gets $60 million a year. You know, Purdy's only getting 53. So, and like you said, Spitface, it is a short-term contract compared to like most of these quarterbacks. They sign very long-term contracts, and Patrick Mahomes' contract was a 10-year contract. So that's the type of contract we're talking about. I mean, Joe Burrow signed a 5-year contract, but he's getting paid mega bucks. But Brock Purdy worked it out with the 49ers for the 49ers to become successful with that contract. That's not going to cripple them, because that's usually what happens to teams when they have to pay these quarterbacks. It cripples them in order to be able to pay other people. But Purdy definitely had made it a team-friendly contract. And for him, because he was Mr. Irrelevant, he knows that that's darn good money compared to what he received as a rookie. So that he was okay with that contract. So, yes, it is a great contract. This man is fully aware of what he can do. He's very confident, and he's very happy with that contract. It was easy money. And we're not talking about Kevin Durant. We're talking about Brock Purdy. All right, Spitface, please take us to break.
Oh, the Slim Reaper. Okay, on the other side of the break, we have another performance from Byron LOVE Luv, the lovey guy. Shout out part 2. Please keep your ears glued to the speaker.
Welcome back. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
All right, on the second part of Shout Out, we are featuring more music from Byron LOVE Luv. Let's hear Whole Lot of Booty. All right, let's hear the rap in this. Whole Lot of Booty.
Every time we fuck, I like it hit from the back. Bounce that ass, watch it clap back. He like it when I wiggle and it jiggle and it tastes just like some Skittles. For the ballers with the money, ain't no booty shaky till he throw them once. He call me Judy, heard his juicy, wanna squeeze. Let's make a move. He like them girls with them big old ghetto booties, with the piercing on they coochies, right cheek, left cheek, slow motion for me. Let's get it groovy, baby. I came to have some fun. Watch me throw this ass in a circle, make it rain. Whole lot of one. I'ma bust it wide open on my tiptoes, bend it over real slow. Watch me do this tongue roll, brown skin, pretty tongue. Got this ass sitting on the throne, bubble butt, bubble yum. You can come and get you some. Whole lot of booty on the skitty. Yeah, that's a whole lot of booty. She got a whole lot of booty. 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 Got a whole lot of booty.
I like to see you shake it, make it wiggle like a freak. I do that thing that you do with the left and right cheek. Make it speak, it can talk. When you walk, I'll make it clap. Let me hit it from the back and pull your hair and grab and slap. Get you off inside the shower, seen you sent me on the message. When it's wet, you can bet I'm all up in it trying to stretch. That's a blessing, everybody ain't just got it like that. They might have a little booty, is it fine? pussy fat. I know some girls are wide and fat, I know some girls are small and thick. They say love is a house, I need a house that's made of bricks. Don't apologize for thighs that be making the nature rise. If the booty good and fat, then we ain't tripping about the size. Some of these people go and buy it cause it wouldn't come up on his own. Denied, I love fat ass cause I'm grown. No scale can weigh or maintain all that ass that you got. You got a whole lot of booty, that's a lot. She got a whole lot of booty. 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 I do the booty walk, 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 the booty walk, booty walk, booty walk, booty walk. I make that booty shake, booty shake, booty shake, booty shake, booty shake, booty shake, make that booty shake, booty shake, booty shake, booty shake, booty shake, booty shake.
Yeah, got a whole lot of booty. I got a whole lot of booty. Whole lot of booty.
All right, that was Whole Lot of Booty from Byron LOVE Luv. First Lady, what's the verdict?
I'm going to shout it out. It was definitely hip hop song. Had the rapping and it had a lot of bounce to it. So I'm going to shout it out. Definitely going to shout it out.
Hey, First Lady, I think this is what they call a club song. Whatever club it is, they jumping up and down with that one. I'm giving it a shout out, and that is the end of shout out. You can check out Byron LOVE Luv on the Old Grumpy Radio Network. If you would like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to talent@oldgrumpyradio.com. If you do not send it to talent, we won't get it. They will not forward it. First Lady, over to you.
All right, it's time for the NBA hardwood picks. We got props. They're worth $25 million. No, 25 million points, not dollars. Over, under, and push. Eastern Conference Finals games. Eastern Conference Finals, 6 games. All right, I'll start it off. I am going to go with a push. What did you have? And I'll get Dizzy Max later.
I'm tempted with the push, but you know what? Ain't nothing easy in the East. I'm going to go over.
You're going to go with what? The over?
I'm going with the Knicks. I'm going to say the Knicks is going to win it in 7.
Okay, the Knicks are going to win it in 7. I mean, all right, so the Western Conference Finals is 5 games. Spit face. What's your verdict on that one?
I'm going to go with a push on the Western Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really thought about this one, and I really want to go under the way the OKC has been playing, but I didn't. Yeah, I really wanted to go under, but I'm not going to disrespect the Timberwolves. I'm not going to disrespect them. I think they can win. They can win 1 game. So I'm going to go with the push. I'm going to definitely go with the push. So
and we are not talking about the touch push. We're not talking about the touch push.
We're not. We definitely not. Face, what is your top story to watch this week?
This week, the top story that I'm watching is for the word out of Pittsburgh that they have a quarterback. In other words, Aaron Rodgers finally makes a decision.
You think he's going to make a decision?
It's getting close. OTA starting. I think he's going to go. I think this week we'll go get some Aaron Rodgers. So that's my eye. I'm looking out for that to be the top story.
I know, because the teams have actually started their OT? What's it called? The off training, the summer OT things. Okay.
Yeah,
OTA, right? The
so,
OTA.
Yeah. So I think he's gonna get off the. I think I'm looking for that to be the surprise news of the week.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen. I haven't heard anything if Pittsburgh started their OTA. But anyway, we'll see. That's a good one. Well, my top story to watch this week is if the New York Knicks are going to rebound in Game 2 of this ECF, Eastern Conference Final. This is probably the best chance for the Knicks to get a championship. So they need to be able to rebound. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, to see if they can rebound. All right. Well, we had talked about the female owners, and I'm going to name them. To give them kudos to these female owners. And the Buffalo Bills are owned by Kim Pagula. She owns it with her husband, Terry. Chicago was owned by Virginia Hackles McCaskey. She did die this year. She died in February. So right now the family is owning that. I don't think they've had decided who's going to actually be the owner. It's the family itself. The Browns are owned by Dee Haslam with her husband, Jimmy. The Detroit Lions are owned by Sheila Ford Hamp. The Las Vegas Raiders are owned by Mark Davis, but Carol also is the owner. The New Orleans Saints are owned by Gail Benson. The San Francisco 49ers are owned by Denise DiBartola. You remember her husband passed away, and that's how she got And the Tennessee Titans are owned by Amy Adams Strunk. And the Seattle Seahawks are owned by Jody Allen. Now, you remember the Seahawks were owned by Allen. He actually owned the Portland Trailblazers, and they just recently put the Portland Trailblazers up for sale. So I'm wondering if she's going to put the Seahawks up for sale. So those are the, and of course now with Jim Irsay's daughters, these are the female owners of the NFL. And I apologize if I missed one of them, but I don't think I did. But anyway, those are the female owners. So that's good. There's a lot of female owners in the NFL. So we really don't have a boys club anymore. The old boys, they still try to hold on to that thought, but we really don't have it anymore. But anyway, check out our current and previous episodes at BrasPantiesAndSports.com. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, and Spitface. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. See you next week.